Started here. Got the cameras rolling, that's good. Welcome to the November 15th, 2021 meeting of the Michigan City Port Authority. Good to see everybody. First order of business is approval or correction of last meeting's minutes. We've all had a chance to look at everything. Do I have a motion?
I'll move that we approve the minutes.
We got a motion to approve and a second. Any comments? Comments or questions? Hearing none. All in favor of accepting the minutes as displayed, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Thank you. Comments from the public. I see we have quite a few people from the public here today. I understand there's some slip holders. And this is a good time. There'll be a time later on towards the end of the meeting if you have any comments, but we're open for any comments you have for us. Would you mind standing and state your name, please?
Come here with some of my friends that we're representing different parts of the harbor system. Some of us have racks, some of us have slips, some of us combination of those things. And I would start by saying, first, we appreciate all the work that MCPA does, and particularly the people at Trail Creek and into harbors on a day-to-day basis. That being said, things seem to be a little less good than they used to be, with a lot of trouble with grills, a lot of trouble with bird poop on Trail Creek and on the piers. Would like to see some of that improved if possible. At least on mine. I'm on 100 East 113, and the grills over there have now worked all summer, not properly. You know, they work sometimes, they don't work other times, they make heat, they don't make heat. The gate hasn't worked in quite some time, we all know on 200 dock.
Right.
But my friends here that are with me are going to speak to more serious things. I just want to start with some of the light. So we appreciate the help, but we'd like to see the grills work better. We'd like to see, like at Trail Creek, where you go to launch your boat, or you put your boat in on the rack system, those piers are just covered with bird poop all the time. There should be a regular regimen of cleaning that on a daily basis, I would think. Many times I borrow a room and clean it for it. I'd like to see that improve.
Okay, this is the boat launch at Trail Creek.
I'm on the rack system, and
You're the rack.
so all of those piers there. And heaven forbid you rent an unused slip down on Trail Creek, it'll be 2 inches thick, you know. I just think that there should be some regimen to clean that poop on a regular basis.
Okay, appreciate your comments. That's good notes.
Yeah.
These guys are great for that.
All right, between the two of you. Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, I want to follow up on what Jim said, if I could. I was just wondering if there's been any contact or any effort made by the board, between maybe the board, the DNR, and the Coast Guard, to try and eliminate the problem with these birds roosting over there between the 200 and the 100. I mean, it's gotten to the point where every morning, you know, that is just an absolute mess. And I was kind of hoping that maybe between the three entities, that maybe they could come up with something to have some type of deterrent, you know, try to do something, even if it's just trimming some of those limbs back that these things roost in, you know, maybe some type of sound deterrent, you know, at night when they come in. And it seems once, if you can keep them out of there till after dark, they're not there. It's just right at that, you know, that dusk point in time, so. I can't believe the DNR would not come up with something in a situation like this. Because we've got, you know, it's gotten to the point now where those droppings are all over on the gas grills, you know, right there at the corner by the 200 dock. It's covering those, you know, and every morning the walkways with,
Yeah, I must admit, I've seen that too, and I hadn't thought to bring it up to the harbor master. That's a good point.
yeah, and I just thought, you know, maybe between the three entities, you know, maybe we could come up with, you know, if we made an effort to contact the three of them and come up with some type of solution. The only other thing I was going to ask about is, do they have any plans on replacing the weekly, during the week gas dock attendant? for next year? I know we didn't have one, this year.
I'll say yes, we do. We miss not having one on a regular basis. It's been difficult to maintain that because we haven't been able to get enough people as it was.
Sure, okay.
But yes,
That's something that one of the other persons asked me to bring up about it.
absolutely, we're aware of that. We agree with you.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it. Anyone else right now? As I say, laying around? Okay, sir,
This is
please.
a different issue. My name is Michael Halpin. I'm a slip holder at 400 Dock.
If you wouldn't mind, could you
Oh, I'm
slip
sorry.
that down just a little bit?
I forget to put it on.
It's all right.
I'm trying my best. Anyway, I'm a slip holder on the 400 Dock. I would start by saying that we have very polite birds there. Not like the birds I've heard
That's good.
described earlier. As far as, I've been a slip holder for a long time, and I would say that I'm very satisfied with the Michigan City Port Authority and everything that they do and their employees. My questions tonight are about I'm a 3-foot over slip holder at the 400 Dock. And the fee increases, which I was unaware of until I got my bill, increased the rate for overlength slip holders. It was $100 a foot, and it jumped up to $150 a foot, which is a $50 increase in the fee increase in that particular area. I kind of did an analysis from my last year's bill where I could see what I paid last year and this year, and it looks like the average slip increase was 4.5%. But if you take a slip like mine and add the additional $50 per foot fee, my fee increase is 15.2%. So my questions are, how are these fee increases arrived at? And I'll go ahead and just go through this and then I'll sit down and be quiet. Just a couple points. The June 28th minutes said the Assistant Harbor Master will submit a year-end report during the next meeting. As far as I know, the next meeting was July 12th. The minutes, there was no year-end report ever mentioned, but it was reported that the last 60-foot slip was running at more than 100% capacity at Michigan City. On October 4th, there was no mention, the agenda had no mention of fee increase, but in the October 4 minutes, it states, Mr. Gray submitted a summary of proposed rate changes. He asked that the proposal be reviewed so the board can take a vote during the next meeting. Most importantly, on page 3 of the minutes, it states, there are no attachments for this meetings prepared by Christine and Wilk Stern. So whatever the proposal wasn't part of the minutes at that October 4 meeting, okay? On October 18th, the agenda states there was no reference to vote on fee increase proposal, just the boilerplate language, budget and financial oversight review and approval of bills to be paid. And then the November 1 agenda, the same as October 18, and November 1, the agenda is the same as October 18. Now, I don't think there were any minutes, as far as I know, a couple hours ago, posted after the October 4th meeting. I could be wrong about that. So my questions are, why was the rate increase never mentioned in the agenda or minutes until October 4, 2021, even though it wasn't properly on the agenda for October 4, 2021? And finally, how did the board determine the rate increase? How did the board determine a 50% increase for overlength? And how does the board update their internet information? And one other thing, I didn't save my envelope when I got my new bill, but I believe those bills with that rate increase were mailed out before you even held the November 1st meeting and approved the rate increase. I don't know. I don't know when the bills were mailed out. I don't know when the people that send the bills out were authorized to put that rate increase on the bills. But it seems that it was on the bills before it was approved by the board. And I don't think that that's necessarily a proper procedure. I'm just pointing out some things that I found, and I'm sure that all the things that I questioned about can be explained, so, thank you.
I understand. I can't take the time at this meeting to fully answer that. If you'll make sure that we have your name and a contact person, we'll do our best to answer specifically that. I will do that. I will say,
Go ahead. I did send an email on Friday, it was late Friday afternoon, that I was going to be here and had some questions about
Okay.
this, but I don't know
Okay, good.
if you received it or not.
Yeah, we'll work through that with you.
Got it.
Just give us some time.
Thank you.
I will explain just a couple quick things. We haven't had a rate increase forever. We really haven't. Not that that's good or bad, it's just the way it is. And we've had some pretty good hefty expenses, and with everything else going on in the economy, that's how we did that. The exact procedures of the rate increase, I don't have that. Our treasurer probably doesn't have that in front of him right now, but we'll get some information back to you. I can't think of another question, another point you brought out. But we'll get back and answer your questions for you, as best we can, okay? Appreciate that. Sir, in the back row.
I'm on 100 West.
Okay.
So I'm the only one here that has to walk through all that bird
Yeah.
crap at night. And it's to the point where I almost need an umbrella.
Wow.
I mean, that's bad. And we've got all those boat rentals on there. What is there, 5 or 6 boat rentals there?
Yeah, I think so.
And there's tons of people coming with little kids, and it's just not healthy. You know, they're walking, a lot of them kids are barefoot, and they're walking through that bird crap. It just, something's got to be done, please. Okay?
Good point. Thank you, sir. Point noted. We'll take a second out here. Could we get back to this a little bit? All right, thank you for, public, thank you for your comments. Always welcome. We're moving on, a report from the harbor master.
We got another gentleman.
Sir, excuse me, I didn't see it.
So we came to express our views. Would it be impolite for us to leave, or should we?
Either way.
Whatever you'd like to
I mean,
see.
if you have, dinner reservations, I'd get out of here. But you're more than welcome to stay as we go through several items that might be of interest.
Okay, thanks.
One other thing I forgot, is that guy coming back on a 300 that got into it with the police? Is he booted out?
300?
Yeah, the guy on a 300
Right.
that got into
Tim,
it.
I'll let you answer that.
Yeah, he's gone.
He's gone? Good, thank you.
Those are delicate procedures. All right, report from the harbor master, Mr. Frame.
All right, on our 7-800 dock upgrade project, Dunker Sloot and Sons was in last week. Removed a couple concrete panels from both the 7 and 800 dock. That's going to provide wiring access for the substations that are going out there. The electricians continue pulling wire and removing old wire. The 100 dock is in progress being redecked. I think they have maybe 3 or 4 slips that they've got new decking down on, and they're chipping away at it. That's Larson Danielson. At Trail Creek, we continue hauling boats out. We have, as you recall, we have more this year than we had last year. We still have maybe 8 to 10 to do, and then we'll start putting stuff in the building. December 4th coming up is the Festival of Lights down here. So the park has been hard at setting up the Christmas lights, and we're doing our portion of that as well. I think they plan on having more events down here this year for the Festival of Lights than they've had the last couple of years. I believe they're trying to bring back the horse and buggy rides and chili cook-off and that sort of thing. And since the last time Stanley Security has been here, they updated most of the software on our server. They got the 200 gate mostly working. We still have an issue with the 600 and 700 gate, but that looks to be an IT issue. We changed how the gate system talks to those buildings. It was on a dedicated data cable that we've had issues with over the years, so now it's on an internet connection, and for whatever reason, it doesn't want to talk to that building. But I think IT can sort that out. So we're making progress finally on that front. Regarding the cormorants, just to kind of cover that, we have talked to the DNR. They referred us to Federal Fish and Wildlife. Of course, they fall under the Migratory Bird Act, so we'll see what we can do, but there's a lot of hurdles with that. But I agree with you, it is getting pretty bad. I didn't see as many of them roosting on sailboats this year, which may be why they moved to those trees. Some of the sailboats on the 200 last year were having issues, and I know at least one guy put bird spikes up on there. And but yeah, that's a known issue. The Coast Guard, they don't take any position on much of anything. But Fish and Wildlife is who we have to deal with. And basically what we have to do is show all the non-lethal things we've tried. And if it gets bad enough, then they'll consider more serious actions. The other problem with the cormorants, why it's recent, is they've been expanding in this area. And they're finally getting to our area here. But it's on our to-do list. Not sure what we'll be able to do, but it's on our to-do list. But
Anything else?
that's it.
Any questions for the harbor master?
Just one option I was thinking of, Jim, that might work, that DNR or the Fish and Wildlife might be agreeable to, is something like the soft pellet rifles. Those are non-lethal.
Yeah,
They are a plastic BB, but it's biodegradable.
right.
And I think you probably have plenty of volunteers to be out there in the evening, but
Yeah.
you know, that's something that is nothing more than a little sting to them.
Right.
And I know that the DNR does allow, by permits, they do allow culling of those at certain times, but I don't think that just culling those out there is gonna solve the problem. You're gonna have to probably do it for a few nights in a row to where you can really discourage them to get out of there.
Yeah, we've tried sound, not specifically for these, but years ago when the landfill was open south of town, we had all kinds of problems with seagulls down here. They'd go out there and load up and then come back here. So we had some audible repellents that worked pretty good, but it irritated the customers as much as anything. But it was fine in the off season, you know, but not so much when the boaters came in, so.
And this is just that window there
At
of
dusk.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't really think anybody'd be opposed to some sound in there, or,
Right.
you know, say the soft pellet to me would be a real easy deterrent, because it's cheap, it's, you know, it's easy to do, and you're not gonna hurt them.
Right.
You're gonna hurt birds.
Would it be possible, or has it been considered to possibly prune those trees like vertically up from the property line of Michigan
Well,
City?
that would be pretty good. I'm not sure if I can get the Coast Guard to give us permission to do it, but yeah,
And, you know, get rid of their roots.
right.
At least on the overhang part.
Good idea, thank you. Tim, I had a comment on the 200 dock gate. I said, you know, that's been 2 months that we've messed around with that. You think pretty much is taken care of, hopefully?
Well, the reader is working, but the button on the inside's not, but I think that's an easy fix.
I was gonna ask you to clarify that mostly outward.
Yeah.
I didn't quite know exactly, but that, yeah.
The reader side of it's working fine. The release button is not, but I think that's just either the switch or a connection right there. But the computer recognizes it now, it reads your fob. So that's good.
Does that work off voltage?
Yeah.
It reads out the voltage?
Well, no, the fob itself is like the chip on your credit card or
Right, and
whatever.
it makes a signal.
So the reader puts out a little field, and when you get close, somehow it can read what that chip is, you know. The problem that was before is Stanley had several different people out here working on it, so they moved, when they rewired it, they moved that gate to the store bathroom controller, but they never changed it in the computer. So the computer is looking for the gate on the office controller, but it's on the store bathroom controller. So in the meantime, the store bathroom controller is putting out a continuous line of errors because it doesn't know what that reader's there for. And the office building couldn't tell it what to do. So in the meantime, it would sort of mirror what the bathrooms were. So if the bathrooms were on card only, which they normally are, then that gate was locked, wouldn't let anybody through. But if we opened those bathrooms for a special event, then the gate was wide open. So it was stuck in between because it was on two different, it was being looked for on one controller, but it wasn't there. And it was on another controller, but didn't know what to do with it there. So we got that straightened out.
Luckily, we're in the off season and we'll get it all straightened out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we brought it up. Any other questions for the harbor master? Hearing none, moving on, Mrs. Pilecki.
The only thing I have is we had a busy day in the office today, but with the payments being due coming in today, phone calls, but nothing else.
Questions for Marianne? John?
What date was their deposit due on?
Today, the 15th,
It was due today to be mailed in?
yeah, they were mailed out a month ago.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rick.
Did you get your check in? Yes.
No, I didn't receive one. A bill.
Anybody else? All right, thank you, Marianne. Mr. Gray, budget, financial oversight, review and approval, bills to be paid.
So the bigger bills you see on here, there was a server upgrade. We moved from 2008 to 2019 on our server, so hopefully it'll connect more of the dots as far as internet service and everything else. Sent the watercraft user fee to the city of $28,664.65. Then $6,000 for environmental.
Remember what that was for?
That's stormwater.
Excuse me, I'm
No
sorry.
First due lawn service, $3,600. Noel Brothers antifreeze, Tim said that this one was $11,800, and that bill doubled from last year. Just the antifreeze. NIPSCO, $4,060.47. So that total of the bills is $60,310.12. Actually, I'm sorry, it's actually $66,574.28 total. And then we need to pay Larson Danielson $100,192.98 for the capital improvements.
Is that a progress payment?
So with that, I make a motion to pay the bills.
We have a motion on the floor to pay the bill. Mr. Messina to second. Do we have any comments on the bills? Hearing none, all those in favor of accepting the bills as stated, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Bills paid. Thank you. Next.
Then we have the topic of the raises that added to the budget, so we need to make a, I don't know if anyone had any questions. I didn't receive any questions on anything, so I'm assuming everybody's okay with what was put out. That we make a motion to approve the raises.
Have a motion to approve the raises as we stated last time. Do We're looking for a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a second. Now, let's get to the questions. I mean, Socrates and I can both work on to answer the questions if you have any. Don't hear any. Okay, I guess we did a pretty good job of talking about it for a month and a half. All right. All those in favor of accepting the salary proposal raises as stated, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Then the last subject, the breach, is the budget itself, increasing our budget, 21 budget from 2.7 million to 2.871, what is this, $2,871,900 from the, so we're going up $171,900 from the prior year. So I make a motion to approve the budget.
A motion on the floor to approve the budget as stated, as handed out last time. Do I have a second? See a second. All right. Questions, people? Any questions on the budget as stated? Hearing none. Take a vote. All those in favor of accepting the budget as stated, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Socrates, good job. Good job. Mr. Treasurer, what else?
I have nothing else.
Anybody have any questions for the treasurer on any subject? Give me a second here, folks. I gotta check off a few things here. What is it? All right. Moving on from financial, Mr. Haynes, claims and insurance.
I have not heard back from the insurance
That's fine.
yet for next year's proposal.
Okay. I'm sure you're keeping contact and you'll take care of that in the next month. That's just,
I'll see about having them here next month for the, or next meeting, December 6th.
and just the comment that I made last time, I believe you and I agreed, I understood that. I think last year we weren't able to get everything like we wanted to, and so we just decided to take things in a step and worry about it next year after we paid in advance. So we'll take care of this as we need to. And I understand that, John. Thank you. You have anything else?
Nothing.
Okay, port operations personnel marina policy, that's me. I know we've got several things under old and new business. And I see if I could just check those off, and we'll talk about those at that point. I could talk about a couple of things that aren't on there that surfaced over the last week or so. The voter committee that we've installed to talk about better communications. So that's Mr. Gray and Jeb, Mr. Childers also. We've been maintaining some emails and decided on a direction to go. To say we don't need anything installed right away, so we're taking our deliberate time. We're going to get together here soon and continue on the process. And when we get that, we'll put it together and dot all the i's and the t's and bring it to the board for discussion. Okay? So that's just an update on that. The other thing we're talking about that I don't see on the old business is the Hobie Cat, we talked, there was some Hobie Cat stuff. We passed out, remember everybody? After the meeting, I checked with Tim, and just, we worked on a direction to go with this, and we decided to set up a meeting with the gentleman that seems to be in charge of this, and to my knowledge, we haven't made that contact to set up something yet. So we're gonna, after looking at the proposal, we just had some questions on feasibility, and we just thought we'd verbalize with him a little bit. So we're working through that. We're not holding back on anything. We're just trying to work through that, as that person will need to work with the city, of course, for approval, and probably some other people. So that's an update on that. You guys, that's all I have. No, let me, Joe's not here. Mr. Sackney might not make it. And he sent me an email saying that he was in court today and couldn't get out of what he was doing, so he might be late. He talked about Zoom meetings that we've been talking about, and he's made some good progress with, I believe, the city administration, the IT people, and I'd say it sounds like he's about 90% there of being able to present us and letting us know what's going to be needed and how to do that. I did not make verbal contact, it was through a couple of emails that he and I had, but I just thought I'd pass that on, and I think we're making real good progress on that. Quite frankly, it's faster than I thought we'd be able to, but so we're working on that. Any questions you have for me concerning operations? All right, thank you. People, this is going a lot faster than I thought it was going to go tonight. Okay, Mr. Messina, Board of Communications, special events.
Maybe one of my things is under old business we're going to be talking about with the luncheon. Board of Communication, I happen to have the opportunity to talk to Mr. Vic Terry, is it, who runs the boat, cruise boat from our harbor. I haven't run into him, and we talked for quite a while. He was very pleased with his results this year. So he had one of the busier years this year than others.
Good.
Everything that he plans on goes well. He appreciated the help he gets from the Port Authority. That's kind of why I bring it up. He said the office staff, the office women, Mr. Frame has always been very kind to him. Anything he's needed has helped him out. He's aware of the other boat that's possibly, potentially going to be around. Maybe in future years. He was 100% behind it. If we need any help talking with him, with the new boat, other boater person, he'd be glad to join us in a committee or something. But he did a lot of compliments. He was very pleased again this year.
Yeah, he sees this is, I think, his third year. He's a very, very
applicable.
Yes, affable person to deal with. He's, and I think we're all glad that he's been successful after a trying year the year before. So thank you, Dan. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Anything from Mr. Messina? I'll make not hearing anything. I did forget a couple things here that Mr. Messina and I have talked about, and I'm sending to the operations committee. We'll have a get together. We talked about cell phones with potential cell phones with the guards, and maybe some better communications and some security cameras. And we talked a little bit about that a few meetings ago, and I forgot to keep tabs on that. Mr. Messina let me know, and we're going to get together and we'll discuss that some more with the staff, and we'll get back to you. So we can put that back, I'd like to put that back on old business if we could, please. Cell phones and security cameras. We can clean that up probably next time. All right. Anybody, nobody else had anything for Dan? Moving on then. Mr. Manor, amended master planning special projects park liaison.
I have nothing to report.
So anybody have anything for Bruce? Amanda, advertising, public relations.
Me and Dan have been working on compiling a list of events happening down at Washington Park. We're gonna meet with the event manager for the city and talk about other avenues that we could advertise, get more involved with the city, representing the Port Authority. And so hopefully next meeting we'll have something to present for everyone.
Is that the activities director?
Yeah, activities
okay.
director.
Terry Greek.
Yeah.
All right. No one has anything for Amanda?
Well, maybe just to verify, our budget for advertising is amount-wise, do we know? 15,000? Okay.
But 5,000 will go to the boat race.
Yeah.
Right, okay, that's kind of what we've done.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's all I have. Questions?
Mr. Zach Noon is not here at present. Under new business, it's time for the nominating committee for next year's officers to be nominated. That's the 4 officers, the president, vice president, treasurer, and secretary. I'm going to nominate Mr. Manor as the chairman of that committee. And I've got everybody here. I'm going to pause for a second, just for a second, because I had another comment. I thought it was concerning the nominating committee. No, I got it. Mr. Messina is on that committee also, and as is Mr. Gray. So the 3 of them will be on that committee, and they will decide a slate of officers that they will present at the last meeting, which is, I believe, on the 20th of December. Okay?
The December meetings are back to back.
Okay. Let's just make sure. Let's see. I thought I looked at that. Shows here on the 20th is all. Just letting you know.
Okay.
6th and the 20th. If you are back-to-back, that's fine, because usually you close down the last 2 weeks.
Because, yeah,
Okay.
we weren't sure at that time.
You want to make it back-to-back on the 13th?
Yeah.
Okay.
Possible.
We're all here. The last meeting of the year will be December 13th, not the next Monday, the 20th. So we had, as Mary Ann said, those are back-to-back meetings, the 6th and the 20th. That shouldn't be a problem. Okay, got the nominating committee taken care of. They will present it, and Mr. Zachner will conduct the voting procedure. Okay, looking at old business. We've taken care of the budget. We've taken care of the salary order. We have not discussed the dinner cruise boat. Directly, I said that I don't know if we talked about this. We talked about the Hopi Cat, but the dinner cruise boat has gone to the ops committee, and there's nothing to report right now because we're trying to get more information from the gentleman from Cool Runnings, correct? We're waiting for that avenue to open up. At that time, we will get together and later on, we'll have something to present. I believe that the discussion we did have, the quick discussion at the board level, we thought that sounded like a pretty good idea though. So I'm presuming that we'll be in favor of that and helping this gentleman along with the process. Any questions on the dinner cruise boat? Blue Chip Sprague. We're in the process of asked Mr. Zach Boone to dig into this. He has not had any, let me see my note. He has not had any luck dealing with the DNR so far. The DNR, so we're trying to find out what the responsibilities are with the fishing pier. We'd like to know that and the upkeep of this property just going forward. That doesn't mean we're not gonna say yay or nay or anything. It just means we need to find out the legalities of this before we go forward. He's been unfortunate, Joe's been unable to make any positive contact with anybody with the DNR organization. He's frustrated, but he's working through it. I don't know what else to report at this time other than to tell him to continue on. We all think generally this is a good idea. I think we'll probably end up accepting this, but let's make sure we dot the i's and cross the t's properly. Comments? That goes with the tabled subject of the bathhouse. They cut it together, I think. Bruce, you wanted us to table that properly, which we did, but we can just leave that subject table there for quite a while if we want. Let's just do that. We'll just leave the table, leave it as a tabled subject. Okay. The only other thing on there is the employee lunch, and I think Mr. Messina and Ms. Pilecki were talking about that. I'll open that up to them to talk about.
We did get together, Mrs. Pilecki and I, and talk about different dates, time, do we even want to have a luncheon for employees and board members. And I think the final determination was, yes, let's do something for our employees. And a luncheon we thought would be a good idea. Possibly a Saturday or Sunday, even during the week we could do it when everyone's around. First thing we did is look at locations. We came up with a couple and kicked those around. And then the toughest thing was looking for a date. We looked at different dates in December, and none of them were really good where everybody would be around and not on vacation or away from here, or the place that we looked at or wanted to go to had any openings. I think in the past years, quite a few years back, when we used to have them, we used to go into January or even February as a late lunch, call it still a Christmas holiday lunch, and it seemed to work out better where everybody could meet. So that's really where we are now. We pretty much possibly have a location, just coming up with an exact date and making sure that people are free. So we'll have further reports on this as we go along.
Okay. Can we count on you to update us on this?
Mrs. Pilecki, because she's pretty easy to work with, yes.
Sounds good. Appreciate that. I should have given you a little static. Food is always important. Anybody have any comments on old or new business? Moving forward, guest recognition. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your last chance tonight. Do you have anything else you'd like to tell us?
I just personally appreciate everything you do. It's a pleasure to come up and vote. It's a great area, a lot for everybody to enjoy, so we appreciate the efforts that you all put forth.
We appreciate your comments, and everyone around this table loves this area, loves the Washington Park, loves the marina, and we really, really try our best to keep it looking good and upgrading it. As you can see, the upgrading of the docks, the electric, everything. It's just part of what we think the right thing to do. Instead of milking it, just let's fix it, make it nice. But thank you. Appreciate you being here tonight. Hearing nothing else, I'll take a motion for adjournment.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
You need a second? Amanda's the second. Next meeting, December 6th, followed a week later on the 13th with our final meeting of the year. Thank you, everyone.